Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. You have found yourself a sturdy and comfortable seated position, and you can have your eyes either closed or open. And if they are open, your gaze is directed softly and clearly downwards. You are here. You are here. Everything else is thinking. There's nothing to gain, nothing to learn, nothing to become. There's only this. So you allow yourself to just drop it all. Really. Your story, your plans, your worries, your me. Put it all down. Now, many of you may be wondering, how do I put this down? How do I drop it? How do I just be here and leave everything else alone? But this isn't as much as a skill as it is a discovery, an insight. What I speak of isn't learned, but rather uncovered. and a useful question to point directly to what we're talking about. Point directly to you is this. What is here when there are no problems to be solved? This isn't something to think about. This isn't something to be answered or a question to be answered in the usual way. Rather, pay attention to where this question is pointing and just stay in that direction. Again, it's not away from you when I speak of. You can't take a step closer to it. Only where does this question go? Where does it lead? What is here when there are no problems to be solved? There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. And there's no one to become. Nothing to achieve. What's left? All right, you can look at the screen. This practice is so simple. In fact, it could be said that it's almost too simple. And because of its simplicity, what we're talking about, I could say it that way, is very easy to miss. Um, it's very easy to miss. The question, what is here when there are no problems to be solved? Immediately, we start trying to think about it. Well, I see the floor and I see this and there's that, and then you start thinking about it. And you're trying to answer, not you, but possibly you're trying to answer the question, which is why we say, as Sri Ramana Maharshi says, to the question, who am I? It's not a question to be answered in the usual way. It's a question to destroy the questioner, to point back to the reality of experience. And because of its simplicity, you could say that the answer is this, only this. But the moment we try to think about it and try to put it into a book, try to talk about it like I'm doing, it's not it. Because those are words, and words is not experience. Experience, you are here before words arise. Symbols, ideas, everything that we use to communicate. There's something going on before we start talking about it. Your eyes see the picture that you're seeing now before you start thinking about what you're seeing, right? And that is true with all experience. And what we do is we rely heavily on the thinking part, the map making, the comparing, the wondering, the trying to figure outness of our experience, of our minds. And, words are very thin. They're only lines. You read a book, it's just a bunch of lines. But the universe doesn't come at you in lines. There's a difference between the map and the territory, or the menu and the dinner. And spending our time in the map and spending our time in the menu is a sure way to not actually live where we are. And to see clearly that it's just this. And that's saying too much. Because those are words as well. So what is that? Only this, just this. So simple. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it is very simple. So whenever you're stressed, worried, life is complicated, just this. Just that. Come back right here. Whoop. Anyway, I hope that made sense. If it doesn't, you can always ask a question in the comments below. I answer all questions, so don't be afraid to ask. And thank you all very much for your time today. And as always, and without exception, I'll see you tomorrow.